how to optimize your performance in these sessions. But for the purposes of tonight, and again, it's really important, especially in these early stages of the process, to lean on your recruiters who are going to be working with you at a lot of these companies. Really build that trust and relationship with the recruiter, because you can lean on them for insider knowledge on whatever company that recruiter is working for and how you can succeed as well. A lot of these recruiters have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of candidates come through the process. They know kind of in terms of patterns what interviewers are looking for, and so they're a really vital resource for you to utilize as you continue to interview with more and more companies as well. All right, so applying to your dream companies, identifying your targets. So as I mentioned before, if you do have access to that, let's open your career skills assignment. So it should look something like this spreadsheet here. We're on the tab is going to be interview strategies part 1, identifying your priorities. If you don't have access to this, please reach out to operations. And for purposes of today, please either start on a blank Google sheet or like a notepad, and then you can transfer over your information from there. So let's go ahead and take some time right now to really reflect on your priorities. Would someone like to share either an example priority either for them or maybe for other people that might be important in terms of what they're looking for in their next role?
I can share my priorities spreadsheet if it's allowed to share the screen, or you just want to read it.
Yeah, just want if you're willing to share, like, what are some priorities that maybe you're looking for in terms of your next role? Like, what are some things that are going to be important to you?
Yeah, so priority number 1 I had listed was compensation,
Okay.
Which means that then the overview, like assignment told like to define it. So it would be, the definition would be at par with industry standards, with perks for education and well-being, and not FANG, but a particular, I'm not looking for FANG companies, but something which will be in a decent range like that I have mentioned. And then the priority number 2 is tech stack. Like I'm looking to work with modern tech stack, and which means that I'm avoiding the places with legacy code base, because I'm looking for career progression. And priority number 3, work-life balance, which means that a culture that values the importance of well-being of the employees and need for personal growth. And priority number 4, meaningful work, and the definition for that is the service or product that the company is offering are geared towards enriching people's lives.
And the definitions may change from person to person. That's why these spreadsheets are really important, because it's not a one size fits all, right? Everybody will have different priorities, especially when they're looking for a new job. And they may, be in different orders. They may be 5 completely different priorities than Vandana had. They may have different definitions, right? And so a few examples, and we did touch on a lot of these, for example, career growth, day-to-day, the mission of the company, compensation, which we hit on, team culture, really, fostering a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's a really important one as well. So, Vandana, you did a really good job there, being very specific about your definition. What your priorities mean to you in these next companies. So, when you have I want everyone to be very cognizant when they're filling out the career spreadsheet to not only focus on, which priorities are going to be the most important to you, but really what do they mean to you, right? Work-life balance can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, depending on where they are in their life. If they have a large family they need to take care of, those kind of things. Different situations will merit a different definition of work-life balance depending on where you are at life, right? And so really be true to yourself and really be able to, when you do write out your definitions for these priorities, be very specific, and this will definitely help you narrow down certain companies, or maybe even eliminate companies. Maybe you go through the interview process and some of these priorities aren't hitting the mark with these companies, and you can eliminate them from your own process as well. So it's a really helpful exercise to be very detailed when you're talking about these priorities. But again, you don't want to spend too much time. Again, maybe take about a minute or two to really think about it, and be able to kind of define what these priorities mean to you. So once you have kind of the priorities written out, and you have them defined, the next step is really to identify and do some research, right? And so we've already identified the priority, we've defined the priority. Now we need to identify, what companies really match up to these priorities that you might have. So in terms of researching your targets and researching your priorities, now we're really going to walk through this, right? You want to be able to write down companies that are potential targets or similar to your target companies. So some of the best ways to research your priorities, obviously Google is everyone's best friend. If you research things like best company for work-life balance, you'll get some results like this. I've already kind of pulled up some results here. So I just put in Google simply, tech companies with the best work-life balance.
They generally put the IC in the role for a few months to a year, and then they eventually change that person to the actual title change happens little later. So
Right.
I have kind of experience of 2 years, but the title change happened only after a year. Right. So in that case, on my resume, what should I do? Should I put like 2 years of experience, or should I put like just 1 year of experience because that was officially my title change then?